Everyone could use some help with some legal advice from time to time, and we have the perfect law office to help.
We do. Laura Dellutri is here to introduce you to the law office of St. Surin and Caruthers.
Good morning. I'm here with Gashard St. Surin, CEO of law firm of St. Surin and Caruthers, and Janice Caruthers, who is the COO. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. I'm really enjoying our weekly segments. I'm learning so much.
We're having a lot of fun.
Yes. Good, good. Well, I'm not an attorney, but both of you are. And today we're talking about child relocation. Now, my first question is, when is it necessary to get permission to relocate your child, and what's the distance that's involved in that?
Okay. Now, whenever there's a court order in place that's already established, the time-sharing agreement and the divorce decree, whenever you're moving more than 50 miles away from where the court order is established and from where the main resident of the child is, and if you're moving for more than 60 consecutive days.
Okay.
And for the move too, it has to, if it's 60 consecutive days for educational purpose or for a health care reason, let's say they have to go to a hospital that's, you know, a longer distance away, then you do not need the relocation. But if it is for more than 50 miles and it's for more than 60 consecutive days, then you do have to ask the court.
Okay, so if you're going away for the summer, don't have to ask the court.
Don't have to ask the court for vacation purposes.
That's good to know. But then why is it so important that parents do ask permission? What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, it's important because the reason why you want to ask for it is if the other person does not agree, then they can file for a contempt of court.
Oh.
Or, you know, there can be emergency child pickup order in place.
Oh, okay.
And it can even be as serious as getting charged for kidnapping.
Oh my,
you know,
that's big.
Yes.
That's a big issue, kidnapping.
Yes.
You say that word, I'm like, well, how can you kidnap your own child? But it's true. You have to follow the courts and the laws of our state.
And so that way, too, if the court ever needs to find you for any reason, they can send you those documents that, you know, that may be required.
Okay, well, are the parents always required to go to court for relocation to get permission on that?
No, they're not. And a lot of it deals with the right of the parent, that it's the non-custodial parent or the parent that does not have the child living with him or her the majority of the time.
Okay.
Because a lot of times you got to consider, if you're moving more than 50 miles away, it's going to be harder for that parent to spend time with the child, for transportation, there's going to be extra cost. So if the parents can't agree, that's when you have to come to court. But of course, if everyone is in agreement and they're able to work it out and modify it themselves, the courts don't really get involved unless the parties can't agree and if there's a problem.
Right. So if one parent says, hey, you're not taking them out of state, and the other person says, but I have a job or something, some other reason. So how does the court determine what is a good reason?
Well, it's kind of like the same way you would consider whether or not you should move. It can't just be, I'm tired of living here and I want to go somewhere else. If you have a legitimate job offer and it's going to be paying you more or it's going to be a better opportunity than what you have where you're currently living, the courts will definitely consider that. They will also consider what type of schools will the child be going to in the new area, what type of resources are available for the child, and how does it compare to what the child currently has.
Right.
Because they're not going to allow you to move if it's going to be a worse situation than what the child currently has.
Exactly. And it makes sense because everything about the courts and everything that you've been teaching us every week on the show is that it's all in the best interest of the child.
Right. Yes.
It's not about the parents or their problems or their issues. It is about those little kids and what's most important for them to develop and be healthy and all those good things. If they're going to have a better standard of living because the job increased, if they're going to go to better school system, all those things come into play, and I think that's really good information for parents to know. And for more information, you can go hereforyoulaw.com, and you have a special offer. Mention the Morning Blend and receive a free initial consultation. You can call 239-288-7664. And I want to thank you both so much for being on the show. It's always a pleasure. I cannot wait till next week.
Thank you.
Thank you
See
both.
you then.
And thank you to Laura as well. The law office of St. Surin and Caruthers is going to be joining us every Monday.
They're so passionate about what
Aren't
they do. We love
They're
that.
Fabulous.
Well, up next, Southwest Florida's favorite dental doctor is in.
How his services and special offers will have you grinning from ear to ear.